Hello there, folks. Nerdy John here, and today joining me is a very special guest. It's Mike, the bike. How you doing, good sir?
I'm doing good. Thank you for inviting me onto your prestigious channel. I can't wait to debunk the woke mind virus with facts
I,
and logic.
yeah, dude. If there's one thing that me and you absolutely hate, it's the woke mind virus that's been infecting our media. And one of
Actually,
one of
true,
those
so true.
woke shows, Mike the Bike, is apparently the Penguin.
The penguin. I knew
Yeah,
it. As soon as they showed the trans people in the first episode, I knew
yeah,
woke
yeah.
media agenda.
Dude, I mean, okay. First off, okay. To be serious for a second, look at this fucking
Yeah,
look at this thumbnail. It's the
bro.
Penguin and Sophia, and it looks like they
The
have the
pride
mixture,
flag.
the pride flag, and it's a Black Lives Matter flag too.
Yeah.
It's woke trash, and then there's an image of the animated Batman show from the '90s right there.
Yeah, which what is this imply? Does this imply that the penguin is connected to the animated like version, or is it to say
That like it doesn't
it's somehow
compare.
infecting it or it's insidious? I don't really
Yeah.
understand. Another thing that I don't quite get. Um, okay, not that I don't quite get.
Mhm.
I'm gonna flat out predict all of the points, and
Oh,
we're
you're
gonna
gonna
see how many
predict
they
it. I
get
was gonna
right.
ask you if
Okay,
you were to like predict what some of his points would be.
okay. So the fact that his sidekick is a Hispanic, and not just a Hispanic,
Hmm.
a person, looks to be a black Hispanic. He's probably gonna
Afro
say that it's a
Latino,
black,
yeah.
yeah, Afro Latino. When, as a matter of fact, I believe he's full Latino. It's just
Hmm.
that his father is Dominican, which they tend to look more Afro Latino.
Gotcha,
Um,
gotcha.
or maybe that is the correct term, but he's gonna assume he's not even gonna say Afro Latino. He's gonna be like, "Oh,
This black
actually,
guy.
I'm gonna." This is more of a stretch, but I'm gonna just
Hmm.
assume he's gonna call him black straight up. I might. That'll be a bonus meme. That's like a bonus prediction. But if he doesn't say that, then that's fine.
we
But
got we
that's a
gotta
bonus
do a
prediction.
bingo for this next time.
Yeah, we need a bingo for this next time. The trans people that show up in the first episode, and I don't think they ever show up ever again, or maybe they do,
Never
but in the
again.
background.
Oh, keep in
They're
mind for I guess me and Mike do have biases because like for me the Penguin, even though like we haven't fully caught up with it yet, at least on my end, it's probably one of my favorite TV shows of all time, top 10 at the very least. It's such an awesome show.
Yeah, I finished watching it. I was normally I like to finish shows. I like to wait for a season or a series to end before I watch it because the last thing I want to do is follow a show week to week and then it turns bad. And now I'm already
Right.
like 80 episodes invested into a show, and it's like, wow,
Or like
I've
it
already
randomly
spent
gets
80.
canceled.
Oh yeah, that too. But that makes me less mad because it's like it's not the show's fault that it got bad, or it
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
get
yeah.
bad. It just got canceled. But with this show. When I saw the first episode, I just saw the first episode to see if, okay, am I gonna watch this when it's done? And I was hooked from that first episode. I watched it every single week,
Mhm.
and I loved it the whole way through. I felt like it got better with every episode. It's like a 9 or a 10 out of 10 for me. Like I am in the process of rewatching it along with Nerdy John and a few other friends. So once I'm done rewatching it, I'll probably analyze it a little more. Another thing he'll probably say was woke is the fact that there was a whole episode dedicated to the female, a female antagonist, or
The
the
female.
I will say this: there are
Mhm.
people out there that are calling her like they're like, oh, when you finish the show, you realize that she was the protagonist all along, and it's like you're not using that word right. Like protagonist is the main point of view character of your story.
The
She
focal
can't be the
point.
protagonist. Like it's just by the nature of what the show is, she can't be the protagonist. What they mean to say is she's the more heroic character. But I don't want to say more because I know you haven't seen the whole show yet.
Yeah, also she's still a mob boss. She's still a mob
Yeah.
boss.
No, she
Anyway,
commits many heinous crimes. Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, Mike, look at the specimen that we have that's bringing us the video. Look at that fine
What is
specimen.
you need to insert the clip from iDubbbz where it's like, who is that cute lesbian and how tight is her pussy?
Who is this cute little lesbian and how tight is her pussy?
You need to insert that in
Straight
when
up.
you show this
So like this is
person.
the funny thing, right? So like I think we should discuss how I found this creator. So I follow comic book TikTok, And comic book TikTok has been all over the absolute universe, right?
Right.
So it wasn't this guy's video directly, but I guess he made a video on how absolute Batman is also woke trash. Now I can't comment on that because I haven't really followed the story for absolute Batman as of yet. But that's how I found him. So like out of curiosity, I found his channel, and then I saw his video where he's talking about how woke the Penguin is, and I thought it would be perfect to watch with you.
I agree. I think this is the perfect video to watch.
Anyway, guys, let's let's get into his first point. This video is 7 minutes and 30 seconds long. Let's hope we can last.
It's a pretty short video at least, so he'll get to the point right away, surely.
Surely.
So after looking around in the comics community and after
After looking around in the comics
His
community.
mic is so blown out. It is so loud.
Okay, to be fair, this guy's like 1.4K. So it's like I think he's a newcomer in terms of the space. So I don't want to harp on his like production values quite yet, because like honestly, I'm still, you know, this guy's got a better camera than both of us, unfortunately.
making a few controversial videos on this channel, I've come across a harsh reality. There are still real comic book fans out there, as seen with the support I've received from these people who have actually read comic books. But then on the other side, there's a horde of people who aren't real comic book fans, yet act like the exact opposite. This video isn't just
I'm a real comic book fan. You are not.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, so I always, being a comic book fan and trying to watch like some of your favorite stuff be adapted. I'm sure there are things that you get hung up on. Like, I'm sure there are diehard Penguin fans that are upset that Penguin is not British anymore. And you know what? If that's a problem they have, then I guess
He's
that's
not a
fine.
legal gentleman.
But like, I don't know. When a character has existed so long, and it's not like you have Elseworld stories, you have so many different versions of the character. I don't get why you would get up in arms if the character is not like a perfect representation of what he is in the comics.
Right.
And the comics isn't even like Penguin in the main line has gone from like a regal gentleman to like the kind of Penguin we've seen in Arkham. Like he's changed even in the main line throughout the years, hasn't he? Like I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Yeah. He's gone from like sophisticated, like, cause like at least like the backstory of Penguin that I'm most familiar with is that he was an orphan of like a rich noble family. They lost all their money, and then either the parents threw him out, or like they just like lost custody of him, and so like usually his backstory is like him trying to regain that through criminal means, or it's like he wants to be one of the elites, which even though the Matt Reeves version of the Penguin, he's more of like an Italian mobster guy, he still kind of has that character because he wants to rise above what his like normal means are. He wants to be seen as like the noble gangster among the people that he surrounds himself with.
He wants to bring some class to criminality.
Yeah. So let's see what his first initial point is.
it's going to be me complaining and whining, because there is still fans out there that are willing to fight. So I'm just trying to make you aware of this massive issue that we have.
We gotta fight for comics.
We are on our holy royal crusade to defend the comics that still exist regardless of the outside. Like, guess what? The Civil War comic line is not as good as the Civil War movie. I'm saying that outright.
No.
I don't care what anyone says. I think that's true. I think the Civil War comic line is bloated compared to the MCU version. I don't think like they are different
some of the
enough
worst
that it's
covers.
Hard to
If you look at the individual covers for that storyline, they are some of the worst.
yeah.
But and to add another point to what we were adding on to previously, just because the Matt Reeves Penguin exists doesn't mean that like the original Penguin still doesn't exist, right? You still have the animated series Penguin. You still have the Batman, like the cartoon, the Batman. Do you remember that show where like
Well,
Penguin knew
even
kung
more
fu?
to the point, this Batman isn't even the mainline universe for the movies. We already know that.
Yeah,
We
dude,
know
you know how
Brave and the
weird it would
Bold
be.
is going to be the mainline one.
Yeah, you know how weird it would be if like this, because like it's sort of like the Batman's supposed to be like the Dark Knight trilogy, where it's like semi grounded. So like, imagine
Yeah.
how weird it would be for like a like an actual like dude who looks like a penguin to be to be walking around. I like that he's called the Penguin because of how like because of his limp, because he looks like he's waddling.
Yeah, he
But
has a I don't know what condition
a
the
club
foot
foot
that he
is
has
that?
is. Yeah, he has like a clubbed foot. Like he's
Yeah.
actually like fucked up. And that's the reason why he has a limp. It's the same way how and I'm not gonna act like Matt Reeves Batman doesn't get silly. Like Catwoman drinking milk. It's like, well, look, I like to drink milk, but
Mhm.
like, I don't know. That's like too on the nose. Like the first thing she does when she gets home from work, pour me a nice tall glass of milk and drink
Yeah.
it while I'm surrounded by cats. It's like, all right, this is a little on the nose. But like, but you know, it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's okay to I lost my train of thought. Cut this out. I think it's totally okay to have like different versions of the character to explore different aspects of them, so long as like
Yeah.
the core of the character still exists. Like for example, the Joker movie, that version of Joker is vastly different from any other version of Joker. But by the end of the movie, he was a force that he just wanted like chaos because that was his form of justice against a cruel world. And
Mhm.
then, well, you know, we don't got to talk about the sequel because
No,
that's
we don't. We don't.
we don't really we don't have to bring up the sequel. But that first Joker movie, yeah, it's not anything like any other Joker from the comics. It's not like any other Joker, period, really. But the core of the character still is that he becomes a symbol for like chaos and civil unrest and anarchy.
Yeah.
Um, regardless of what, and that's what the people that are doing the uprising and the riots see him as. It doesn't exactly matter how he sees himself as. But again, you know.
Yeah.
There's many examples in recent years of this in full force. One of the biggest examples for me is the Matt Reeves Batman universe. Yes, this universe is darker, and yes, it does have Batman as a proper detective, but that only seems so good because we've been starved of a real Batman movie for so long. The best Batman
Wait, what do you mean? We've been starved of a Batman of a good Batman movie for so long.
Well, I will agree with him on this point
Mhm.
because when was the last time we had a really good Batman movie? We know Batman v Superman was garbage.
Mhm.
Justice League, some people like it, but I wouldn't even call that a Batman movie. It's just a movie with Batman in it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then you go back to Dark Knight Rises, not very good. And then you have The Dark Knight. When did The Dark Knight come out? That was
2008.
like that's like over a decade ago. So
Yeah, yeah.
I will tentatively agree with him, but I want to hear more of what he has to say.
Mhm.
movie ever made is The Mask of the Phantasm. Mask of the Phantasm is an objectively better Batman movie and adaptation. It's a gritty Art Deco noir Batman tragedy. No race swaps, no anti-white racism, and no...
No race swaps. Why does that look? Sometimes a race swap will matter for
Mhm.
it. Like it depends on the character, right? If you have I'll use Black Panther for example. I know there's a meme of what's the actor's name from the Barbie movie?
Ryan Gosling?
I know there's like a fan casting for Ryan Gosling as the Black Panther, but
Mhm.
like realistically speaking, the Black Panther should probably not be white, right?
Right, right.
And if you're doing an adaptation of like the presidents, they should probably be white. They probably shouldn't be black or Hispanic or any other race like that.
Denzel
And
Washington is George
Snow White,
Washington.
if you want to cast a Hispanic woman as Snow White, I
Mm.
guess that's fine. There are Hispanic women that look white that are pretty much white,
Mm.
and you can cast for that. But if her skin is supposed to be white as the snow, then you should probably cast a really white bitch. But you know, like Catwoman, what about her needs to be white? There's no reason why Catwoman needs to be white or any race in particular. So the race swap there, I don't see that as it mattering so
No,
much.
and like, well, like at the end of the day, Catwoman is ultimately supposed to be like a femme fatale for Batman. She's supposed to like entice him, you know, to not be a crime fighter, sort of like
Yeah.
And let's be honest, the actress that they have playing Catwoman in this universe is very attractive. let's
mean,
be honest.
I would argue, like, the thing is, like, have we ever had an unattractive? Let's be fair. Have we ever had an unattractive Catwoman? I would say
Not
no.
yet, luckily.
Michelle Pfeiffer, hot. Halle Berry, terrible Catwoman, but hot.
Yes.
And Anne Hathaway, hot. So we've been pretty lucky on our Catwomen, and just because she's race swapped. By the way, this isn't even the first time she's been race swapped. Again, Halle Berry, which and we can go even further back. Wasn't Eartha Kitt Catwoman?
Yeah, the 1960s
Back in the
Catwoman.
1960s, bro.
Yeah.
So
like,
what
it's
would his
never been
argument
done in
be
the
for that?
comics
Is he
yet,
just not-
but like there is
would
a
he-
weird precedence for live action Catwomans to be black.
Yeah. I mean, I guess so, but I don't see, like, the thing is, if this was the first time she was ever race swapped, I could see that as a cynical decision. But I mean, one of the first ever live action Catwomen were black. And I don't know. I would be interested to see if this guy has a video where he praises the 60s, or at least quote unquote appreciates the 60s Batman and points that out. Because if he's gonna be fair across the board, then pointing out that the fact that Catwoman has been race swapped decades, half a century ago, she was race swapped. If you're not gonna point that out, then I don't see why you would point it out now.
Yeah.
Character assassination.
All anyone cares about in this place are these white privileged assholes.
Okay. That's okay. Credit again, credit where it's due. That line is cringe. But that's one line in the entire movie.
Also,
Like-
too, like, because from Catwoman's character in the movie, she is the daughter of a prostitute who was killed, right? And so, like, she's had to like fend for herself since
Yeah.
practically childhood, right?
Yeah.
She's especially being like of a minority background. Of course she's gonna have those types of ideas. Remember, she doesn't find out that Bruce Wayne is Batman in the movie, and she talks about how like Bruce Wayne is one of the people that like upholds like the system of corruption, you know? So it's like it's like, I think if she does appear in like the Batman Part 2, which she more than likely will, I think part of her character is probably maybe going to realize that like not all rich people are bad, because like obviously, you know, she's going to eventually find out that Bruce is Batman.
Yeah. Ooh, that'd be interesting if they have that reveal in the next. Well, let's not theory craft now.
Right.
We'll
But
go
you
far
get what I mean. It
No, yeah,
makes sense for
100%.
her character to be saying that. Also,
yeah, from
too,
her
from what I
character's
remember, she's like
perspective.
the only woke character in that entire movie.
Yeah, like you don't hear anything from you don't hear about anything about race from
Alfred.
from Gordon, who is also race swapped.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
By
I
the way,
don't know.
phenomenal casting there for Gordon.
Crazy act. Yeah, he's an amazing actor, and he did an amazing job as Gordon, despite the fact that he's black.
I know, crazy.
As this guy would say, I
But
guess.
wasn't Gordon black in 1989 Batman? Am I thinking
Was
of?
he?
No,
You're thinking of Harvey Dent. Harvey Dent was cast as a black
Oh, that's
man.
right. That's right.
Was it woke back then?
It was. Okay, he's just
that is a
playing the
great
clip.
movie.
You're probably wondering,
that is
what does he
that
mean?
is a great movie.
That
That is a great movie, to be fair.
No one's saying that the Mask of the Phantasm is a bad movie, you know.
I'm saying it. I'm actually flipping the script.
But
I hate
also
Mask of
too,
Them.
like context, like Mask
It's
of the
an animated
Phantasm
movie. It's not
is
the
a
same.
movie adaptation of the animated series. It already has a foundation to build off of, you know. Whereas the Matt
Yeah.
Reeves Batman is its own thing. Like there's no cartoon,
And-
there's no show,
And it's
besides
much
the Penguin.
easier. It's much easier to have the same logic and feel as the comics when you're in an animated format versus a live action one. I mean,
Absolutely.
we've seen the Batman movies that try to be closer to the more campiness of the comics, and I mean, we know how those turned out. You know, it's not great.
Bad credit card.
Not saying it's impossible. You know, I would love it if Brave and the Bold um embraced some of those more fantastical side of Batman. You know, that'd be cool. But it is harder to do, and I'm have my fingers crossed we get the blue and gray suit in that movie.
Yeah,
I've
because
always wanted that.
the Adam West show definitely had more of a comic book campy feel to it, but like
Yeah.
obviously when you look at it like 40 decades later, you know, it looks very cheesy.
Mean by character assassination. In the Batman 2022, we aren't actually watching a Batman movie. Who actually is this guy? An emo weak male who doesn't act like Bruce Wayne or Batman in the film.
An emo Bruce Wayne. Yeah, he's an emo Bruce Wayne because he still hasn't gotten over the death of his parents. This is his second year as Batman. The lesson that he learns, Ben Shapiro had the same like kind of take where it's like, this Batman, clearly the people who made this hated Batman because they totally go against everything he stands for. And by the end of the movie, what's the lesson he learns? He learns that he shouldn't fight his criminals. So what are they going to do for the sequel? They totally misunderstood Batman. It's like, no. This movie understands Batman better than like any other live action movie. What does Batman learn in this movie? He learns that he cannot save the city using vengeance alone. When he goes out there and fights criminals and the people are scared of him, not the criminals, not just the criminals, the people are scared of him, that is not going to help build Gotham back up. He needs to be a symbol of hope. He's not supposed to be vengeance himself. He's supposed to use vengeance as a weapon to bring hope to the people of Gotham.
Yeah, what was it he said in Arkham Origins? When the mugger thinks twice about robbing the family, that is because like of me, you know, like like the Batman isn't supposed to scare innocent people. He is supposed to be a deterrent for criminals to do what happened to his family on that tragic night. Because like
that's the reason.
I forget who
that's the
said
whole reason
it.
why he doesn't kill, because he doesn't want to kill someone, and then the reverberations of that. Well, it's two reasons. One reason, and I think this one's the lesser reason, is because he doesn't want to kill someone, and then that person has like a family of their own, or they have people of their own that they're connected to, that causes the same scarring to them that happened to him. But the second bigger reason he doesn't kill is because he believes in Gotham. And he believes that it can get better. I want to rant a little about people who complain about the no-kill rule. The fact of the matter is, Joker keeps coming out after, like, Joker's killed a million people, and Batman, should he kill him? There's arguments there, but why does Batman get all the blame and nobody just complains about Gotham's system itself? It's obviously Gotham's fault that, like, Gotham, I'm gonna say it outright, Gotham should have a death penalty if Joker keeps fucking getting free at this point.
No, and you think too, like a cop would have been like, you know what, like no one's looking, like pow pow pow, you know?
Yeah, like some random cop. You know, I mean, Batman has jumped in front of bullets for Joker before, but I mean, Batman's not around Joker the whole time.
Yeah, and also
Look,
too,
if
like,
they got Epstein, they can get the Joker, right? That's
right. Also too, like, do you remember the Red Hood animated movie?
Yeah, I love that movie.
There's the scene where Red Hood finally confronts Batman about his no-kill rule. And also too, we have to remember, it's not that Batman's never been tempted to kill, because in the storyline that happens right after Jason Todd's death, he wants to kill the Joker. The only reason why he isn't able to kill the Joker is because Joker somehow gets diplomatic immunity and Superman calms him down. But like as the Batman explains to Red Hood, it's like, because like the Red Hood's just like, listen, I'm not telling you to kill like every single person we fight against, right? I'm not telling you to kill the Riddler. I'm not telling you to kill the Penguin. Just the Joker. But like Batman explains it like,
because he took me away from you.
But Batman explains like, look, if I go down in that dark place, I will never come back.
Yeah, and it makes sense. Like Joker definitely kills the most people. But I mean, how many people has Scarecrow killed? How many people has Two-Face and Penguin killed? Like,
Hmm.
all of his villains have killed like a shit ton of people. Obviously, Joker's killed the most, but
Hmm.
all of them have killed like a shit ton of people. Why wouldn't he stop at Joker? Why wouldn't he just kill all these other guys? Because they
Yeah,
keep
because if
getting
he's
out
able to
too.
justify the Joker, he's able to justify all of them.
Yeah, it's like it makes sense. And most other superheroes also have a no killing rule, and nobody ever complains about them. Nobody ever complains that Spider-Man doesn't kill people. Nobody ever complains about Superman not killing people, although Superman's killed more people than Batman. But typically Superman doesn't kill, right? Like
Usually,
typically,
usually with Superman, it's like Doomsday he kills, or like Brainiac, because it's like it's
yeah,
just
like aliens, because it's okay if aliens get killed, but I
right,
mean
right, right.
humans, humans is different.
Yeah. Anyway, let's continue. Maybe he'll make a good point, Mike. Maybe he'll make a good point.
Yeah, maybe
He
give him a chance. Give him a
literally
chance.
listens to Nirvana. He doesn't.
What's
Wait, what's
what?
wrong with Nirvana?
Nirvana is
Wait,
considered
I
one of the greatest bands of all time. What are you talking about?
Oh
you
my
moron?
God, I
You
brought
literally
Micah.
you look like a gay Kurt Cobain. What are you fucking talking about, dude?
By the way, guys, if for some reason you don't know about Mike does like music parodies on his channel. He's a music guy. I had no idea this guy made the Nirvana joke.
What? Like, who thinks you would have to be the most insecure man to think Nirvana is gay? You cannot like Nirvana. He's wearing an Iron Maiden shirt. How gay is it that these dudes with long ass hair
Dude,
are singing in super
they're a
high
hair metal
voices?
band.
Yeah, hair. Well, I wouldn't call Iron Maiden that. Let's not
Well,
disrespect
but
Iron
like
Maiden.
they're like
But
edgy
they-
hair, like you get what I mean.
could make. Yeah, I could make a better argument for Iron. I bet this guy loves Judas Priest. You know, Rob Halford is literally fucking gay, right? This guy's retarded.
I can tell. I can tell.
look anything like the character inside the suit or outside of it. Then you have all type of people adoring this film, even comic book fans. All Matt Reeves did was rip off Seven and The Crow and made an inferior version of them. It is
What?
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 I mean, there was clear inspiration. I mean, The Crow has inspired so much shit. The Crow literally inspired Heath Ledger's Joker. The Crow has inspired a shit ton of things, so that's whatever. But I bet this guy likes Heath Ledger. Oh, maybe he doesn't. Maybe I'm not gonna assume. Because like, who knows what the fuck this guy likes? He's wearing an Iron Man shirt. Doesn't like Nirvana. Who knows what this guy fucking likes?
Right. His mind is an enigma.
Yeah, bro. This guy is Edward Nigma right here.
True.
Fucking
He
ginger.
looks
head
like one of
ass.
his followers.
Bro, he's the guy that got. This is why he doesn't like him. He was that guy at the end that was like, "I'm vengeance" with the broken fucking nose after Batman fucking destroyed his face. Bro, this guy
Oh wait, no, but
Um,
but his channel is called Ranting for Vengeance.
for vengeance. Like what? This guy's an idiot.
Yeah.
What did he just say? I forgot now. I got lost track.
sorry,
of
sorry.
it.
We'll replay it.
Reeves did was rip off Seven and The Crow
yeah.
and made an
Okay.
inferior
So Seven and Crow, it's like, yeah, there was clear inspiration taken from Seven and the Crow, but there's also inspiration taken from the real Zodiac Killer, the real, like there's so many other inspirations that it takes from. It literally takes inspiration from The Long Halloween, which is from the comics.
Yeah. It's
There's
not a
just-
direct
there's
adaptation,
inspiration
but
from
like
year-
it takes elements
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah, Year One Batman is, I believe, Matt Reeves said was another inspiration. If you
Mhm.
watch any interview with Matt Reeves, you can tell how much he loves the comics. He talks about so many comics when he's referencing the making of this movie. Like clearly,
Mhm.
it is so clear that he, more than any other director before, loves the comics. You know what Zack Snyder said about Batman? He was like, "Oh, I was actually tamer than The Dark Knight Returns because there's a part in that movie where he grabs a machine gun and he shoots a guy in the head." It's like that does not happen at any point in time. And that he does grab
No.
a gun and he shoots it, but he doesn't kill anybody with it. Like that does not happen in the comic. This guy's like Zack Snyder. I mean, Zack Snyder's come up with 3 different reasons why he did it.
Mhm.
One reason he said he did it is because if he doesn't let his Batman kill, then he makes that Batman irrelevant, which is an insane thing to say.
Mhm.
Zack Snyder's a whole other story, but I believe Nolan also didn't really look too much into the comics as well.
No, he was not a comic
And you
book
don't-
fan whatsoever.
Yeah. Like you don't have to. Like I'm not saying that's a prerequisite, but if this guy's argument is about comic book fans following it, why do you think comic book fans love a Batman that one doesn't kill and makes it a point to not kill?
Mhm.
A Batman that you actually have to see grieving his family. He's not just over it and You know, it's not like, oh, I had a conversation with one person. Now I'm over my parents' death, or I'm more over it than I should be. Um, like, I don't understand how you could be a comic book fan and not like the
Yeah.
Batman.
Also,
That's like
too,
actually insane to me.
like to bring back to like this is like Batman's first 2 years of being Batman. Not only that, but like it's implied that like the only training he's gotten has been from Alfred, right? Like he didn't have Ra's al Ghul, he didn't have like the world martial artists, that he trained under. So like he doesn't have as much worldly experience as like the main comic book Bruce does. So of course he's going to be a bit more brooding. And like what I took from his arc as in the first movie was that like I think you said earlier that like he has to play into like the billionaire persona in order to like help Gotham as well. I think
Yeah, he
because that's what
learns
he's
that in this movie because before, like, Alfred is like, you need to keep up appearances. Like, what about your family's legacy? And he's like, this is my family's legacy. And it's not until he needs to go to the Iceberg Lounge that he goes in as Bruce Wayne and he sees how easily he was able to get in as
Mhm.
Bruce Wayne, you know? And then the culmination, like, the thing is, like, there's so much symbolism in the movie, but it's like, it's really not that hard to see it. It's very on the surface symbolism. I'm not saying the movie's deep, but I'm saying that there's a lot you can take from the movie just by paying attention. What does he do the third time he breaks into the Iceberg Lounge? He doesn't go in as Batman or as Bruce Wayne. He uses his stealth to get in there, and when he gets in, he looks like a normal civilian. When he gets into hiding and it takes out the lights, then he switches into Batman. He
Yeah.
finds a good middle ground between just being Batman and being Bruce Wayne. He's using all of his assets that he has in order to get what he needs done, which is what Batman should do. Batman would take advantage of everything he has in order to do the things he needs to do.
Yeah.
Inferior version of them. It isn't comic accurate. It isn't Batman. And if you're defending it, you need to go and read a real Batman comic. Then another example with the brand new Penguin TV show that I was actually excited to watch. Every single person on the internet right now is hyping it up to be some sort of masterpiece. But me, I was out as soon as I heard just one thing about it. I heard that in the show, the Penguin, we weren't actually going to be getting the Penguin. So you have the character from the Batman universe, the Penguin, Oswald Cobblepot. You have to change his name down to Oz Cobb because you're so ashamed of what you're adapting. You're making...
Wait,
No,
stop.
wait.
He hasn't even seen the show.
What?
He just admitted he stopped after he heard that his name was first of all, his name is not changed to Oz Cobb. Oz is short for Oswald. His name's Oswald Cobb, and his name is not Cobblepot because he's not British anymore. He's an American.
Italian.
Cobb. Well, yeah, he's Is he actually Italian or is he American Italian? Because I believe.
Sorry, American Italian.
They said he's not a made man. I believe they said at one point. But either way, his last name's Cobb. Like, why is that? Like, I knew it. I
Also,
knew
too,
this guy was gonna
different
nitpick the
universe.
fuck out of it.
It's a different universe.
So okay, I guess all my predictions are wrong because he hasn't even seen it. Oh no, but he probably has seen all the woke stuff from it. Oh my god, please tell me this guy actually, he's not gonna, he said he didn't see it, but it seems like English might not be his first language, so maybe he meant that he wasn't excited for it anymore. So let's give him a chance because otherwise I don't know how you could call the show woke if you haven't even seen the show yet.
Making a universe based off of a comic and you don't even have the respect to use the characters' actual names. Same with Batman in this universe. He's not even called Batman. He's called Vengeance. Who are you? I'm Vengeance. Do you want to go
guy's
on?
retarded.
And
Hold on,
Wait,
stop.
what?
When he is saving people at the end of the movie, the news reporters are calling him the Batman. Like, his name is Batman, but that's not what he goes by in the beginning. It's not because he doesn't call himself Batman. It's because he's making people... He doesn't want to just be... At the start of the movie, he wants to be beyond a person. He wants to be an element,
symbol.
right? He wants to be the fear that people see in the darkness. That's his whole thing. So when he says, I'm vengeance, it's because he's trying to be more than a specific thing. He's trying to be an idea. He's trying to be like, he's trying to like, go beyond that. But he's called the Batman in the movie. This guy clearly doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, like, tell me you didn't watch or understand the movie without telling me you didn't watch or understand the movie.
how mad he is. I guess
Mhm.
I'm getting mad too, but that's because he's so
How
like
stupid
ignorant.
he's being.
Finish the line. It's I am vengeance, I'm the knight, I am Batman. You can't just cut out the part that you don't like. Then it isn't the
What?
character.
No, that wasn't the point. Look, the point of saying I'm vengeance is not to reference I am vengeance, I am the knight, I am Batman. And imagine how clunky that would be for the scene. He's there, he's on the floor after beating the shit out of one of the goons, and he's like, I'm vengeance, I'm the knight, I'm Batman. Like that, he can't do that when these guys, like, they would jump him by the time he gets to Batman.
Yeah,
Like, that would not give him proper time. Like, that's not the point. The point isn't to say those lines yet.
And the problem isn't that the comic books are too goofy and the modern audience
Also,
wouldn't be able to.
hold on. I'm gonna go one step further. That line isn't even from the comics. That line is from the animated series. I'm almost certain that's the first time the specific phrase "I am vengeance, I am the knight, I am Batman." It originates from that.
Yeah.
So, if you're a real comic book fan, you would know that that doesn't even come from the comics.
Yeah, like I think he like prior to the animated series, I'm pretty sure there's been plenty of times where he's referred to himself as like vengeance, but he's never like strung those words together before.
Yeah. Yeah, like this guy has selective choices for what he considers canon or not.
Yeah.
Like I bet you he considers the Victor Freeze from the animated series the best version of Victor Freeze, and not the original comic book version where he was just a goofy guy with a freeze gun.
Yeah, he was just a mad scientist.
Yeah.
grasp it, because comic writers for years could do exactly this. They could come in and take a character that was once goofy and make them realistic and grounded. It's not that hard. You're just being lazy. Take one of the best comic books ever made, Daredevil, The Man Without Fear, the ultimate origin for the character. Frank Miller managed to explain the name Daredevil without changing his name. Matt Murdock grew up as a rough kid on the streets of Hell's Kitchen and everybody called him a daredevil. There you go. There's your explanation. Then he takes that name in the future to fight crime with. It all depends on how good of a writer you are, and Frank Miller is one of the best. You shouldn't even be allowed to name your
Anything he made after the 90s is trash.
Frank Miller was one of the best.
Yeah,
Frank Miller made a lot of great comics. He also made The Dark Knight. What was it? The sequel to The Dark Knight.
Yeah, Dark Knight Returns.
He made like the part 2, which is like one of the worst, most insane comics.
Most
ever
ugly
made.
comics too.
And he made All-Star Batman, which again has one of the most insane quotes from Batman where like Robin's like, "Who are you?" He's like, "What are you, fucking retarded? I'm the goddamn Batman."
He makes Robin eat rats.
Yeah, like, what are you talking about? Just because someone has made great, you know who you know what's one of my favorite movies of all time is 300.
Mm-hmm.
Amazingly directed. You know who directed that? Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
You know what else Zack Snyder directed? Batman v Superman and fucking what was that more recent movie, Killer Moon or something like that? The fucking Moon movie where Rebel Moon, something like that.
Yeah, Rebel Moon.
Terrible non-Star Wars movie. Like, yeah, Zack Snyder's a fucking hack. I'm not saying Frank Miller is a hack. Frank Miller made a lot of great shit, but he's also made terrible shit too.
Yeah.
And to say that the writers for first of all, this guy already admitted he hasn't seen The Penguin, so how would you even know how good the writing is? The writing is incredible in the show. If you really want to test, like, if you want someone that's really good at judging something objectively and not just on a subjective level, look at Mahler. And Mahler, I'm still waiting for the EFAP, every frame of pause. Shout out to that podcast. I'm still waiting for their coverage of it, but like Mahler said that the show was incredible, and he is super hyper critical about film and movies. And guess what? This guy's complaining about adaptations. I'm gonna say this outright. I don't think you need to be a 1-to-1 adaptation in order to be good. The Shining is one of the greatest horror movies of all time, and it is like barely an adaptation of the book. It is
that's
so
why Stephen King hated it.
different. Stephen King hated that. But guess what? It's an amazing movie. It's one of the greatest horror movies of all time. Not just my favorite. It is an objectively amazing movie.
Mm-hmm. To where it keeps getting referenced years later.
And you know what's crazy is that comics, what I find most annoying about, he brings up, oh, these guys can have a character that was once goofy and make them more grounded. But like, what if people were a bigger fan of the goofy version of that character? and now they feel like the new grittier version is not accurate to the original version of the character.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why is that less valid than you preferring the gritty version? Like, why is now this specific version of the character that now you happen to prefer? Why is that the real version of the character? That's like when people, it's like I bet this guy is one of those people that's like, oh, Miles Morales is not Spider-Man. It's like,
Probably.
I would argue that when you ask someone who's Spider-Man, 99% of people will tell you Peter Parker.
Mhm.
But if you ask, like, anybody, is Miles Morales Spider-Man? They're gonna be like, yeah, he is Spider-Man. Like,
yeah.
it's not the same. It's like Wally West and
Barry Allen.
Barry Allen. You know, they're
Or,
like both different Flashes, but they're both Flashes, and it
uh,
really comes down to who you grew up with.
Mhm.
Like-
and then Jay
Green
Garrick.
Lantern.
Jay Garrick. Jay Garrick is the first Flash of all time in the 40s.
Yeah, nobody ever mentions him.
No
Nobody ever
one.
talks about that version. It's because he sucks. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I mean, like, or like for me, who is my Green Lantern? Who's your Green Lantern?
Oh, for me, well, I grew up watching the Justice League animated show, so like Jon
Same.
Stewart is like one of
John
my
Stewart.
favorites.
That's my Green Lantern too.
Mhm.
But if someone said that, Hank,
Hal
what
Jordan.
is his name? Hal Jordan. I call him Hank. Hal Jordan. If someone says Hal Jordan is Green Lantern,
Dude, now I'm
I
just
wouldn't be
imagining
like,
Hank Hill as like a
no.
Green Lantern. God damn it,
Ah.
Bob.
Take
This
this green propane tank.
Well, also too, like Kyle Rayner is another one. He hardly
Yeah.
gets talked about anymore nowadays. But like,
Yeah.
what was the? There was another Green Lantern in the 40s, the very first one. What was his name? Shoot.
Yeah, like
I'll
why
look
is
it up,
why
I'll
is
look it
it
up later and put it in post. But like,
why
wha-
is it only Miles Morales that gets this treatment? Like, I don't,
yeah,
at this point, like I think it has to either be racism or like right-wing virtue signaling. That's the only.
Yeah.
You're triggered, but on the other side of the
you're
of the
being
pole.
combative for no purpose because you have
Yeah.
to have an argument.
It's so cringe. Nerderotic is cringe. I love EFAP, but Nerderotic is cringe.
Yeah.
Calling
Your
you out.
film, The Batman, or your show, The Penguin, when you're not staying true to those characters. And once again, another massive example of this is the Fox X-Men movies. I grew up my entire life not liking the X-Men because all I ever saw was those movies. Cyclops was a douchebag, Rogue was some annoying kid, and Wolverine didn't even look cool. And you want to know why that was? Why
What?
those films are...
Hold on.
What?
Wait a minute.
What?
Okay. You can criticize the X-Men movies for so much shit. Okay.
The leather.
Wolverine not being cool is the most insane most insane take I've ever heard.
People's main
People-
problem with the X-Men movies is that it was the Wolverine movie featuring the X-Men. Like the problem
Yeah.
was they made Wolverine too cool in those movies.
Wolverine, like, look, as a short king, I want my short Wolverine, but I'm not gonna say that Hugh Jackman's not fucking cool. Hugh Jackman is one of the coolest motherfuckers on the planet.
Also,
Thanks
minus
to
the
Wolverine.
height, he is what I would picture like a Wolverine.
Yeah,
to
pretty
look
much. Like, pretty much. Yeah,
Mhm.
he is like visually. Like, if he were to be, the thing is, I can't say if he were to be shrunk down because he was shrunk down in Deadpool and Wolverine,
Like. Yeah.
and it didn't look good. But I will defend it. The guy they got to play short Wolverine, the body he's like 4 foot something, so he is too short.
Mhm.
All right, let's be fair. But still, yeah, like you can't just shrink down a big man and have it be Wolverine. Like you need to get a short king. All right, you need to get a 5'4", 5'5" man.
Hairy
Get
man.
Daniel Radcliffe. Daniel Radcliffe would be a good Wolverine. I stand by it. I support it.
There we
Get
go.
him on. All right.
aren't good because Bryan Singer, the director, banned comic books off of the set of those films. He didn't want people reading the comics that the characters were actually from. This mentality absolutely disgusts me. These characters are from comic books. Read some of them, then
Wait. So his complaint. Also, I don't know if that's true. I know that was true for. I'm pretty sure that was true for Dark Phoenix, the more recent movie. I don't know if that was true for the old movies, but maybe that was true. Okay, I'd have to look that up.
Well, also too, like the problem with the X-Men movies is entirely separate from like whatever your problem with the Batman is.
Yeah. Case in point, Matt Reeves read a shit ton of Batman comics and references a shit ton of Batman comics when talking about his movie. So
Yeah,
clearly, like, I'm pretty sure what's going on in the Penguin is like sort of based off No Man's Land as well.
yeah, they're incorporating some of that in there. Also, what's the? I feel so terrible for not remembering his name. The guy who plays Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Oh, Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson read a shit ton of comics, and I think he mentioned one of his favorite stories is like an obscure Batman story where like he travels to like Mount Everest for like Buddhist monks or some shit like that.
I remember when the Batman came out, there was like an ad from like the movie where Matt Reeves literally had like a list of Batman comics you should read before watching.
Mhm.
Like, if that doesn't tell you the dude loves the comics, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Or at least if he didn't like read the comics prior, he definitely prepared. He knew he so
Reading
that way
for
he could-
Vengeance, I'm calling you out. If you see this, I challenge you to a debate on Nerdy John's channel, all right? Nerdy John
Heck
will
yeah.
host the debate, and me and you will fight in real life
in real life.
to the death for vengeance.
Adapt this.
Bum,
Don't
bum,
race
bum,
swap
bum.
and don't name change. Like the film Sin City, it worked perfectly. Why? Because you adapted it and you didn't go in changing everything. And to the people who call themselves comic book fans, stop tolerating this crap. That's why I have a problem with these comic book fans. They won't actually step in and say no. When a beloved character that's been around for like 30 years gets name changed or race swapped or gender swapped, stand up and say no. Another problem that I have is the use of the phrase in the comics. For example, ask anybody about the character Moon Knight. These comic book fans will tell you that in the comics, Moon Knight is a psychopath. And
Okay, first off, we're talking about Moon Knight. The problem with Moon Knight was that writers didn't know what the fuck they wanted to do with him. They rewrote his
Yeah.
backstory like like 8 times before like the MCU adaptation came out. And you know what? I'm glad for the MCU adaptation because whatever problems you have with that, at least there's a concrete version of Moon Knight going forward.
Yeah. Like, and another thing about the Moon Knight adaptation is that it got held back by the TV rating. Like, that's not necessarily an issue with adaptation. That's more an issue with studio interference. That is the MCU's biggest problem as of recent. It's not so much adaptation issues, it's studio interference. But even then, again, you don't need to be one-to-one perfect with the comics to be a good adaptation. I need to see what this guy's top 10. I've never read Sin City and I've never seen the movie. I need to look up a difference video so I can see how different it is, because I guarantee you it is not a one-to-one adaptation.
Right, there are changes probably
There's
made.
there's literally never been a one-to-one adaptation from the comics.
And they'll say that Moon Knight has always been a proudly Jewish character, when in
Is that the problem? Is that the problem?
Is that it? Was he even proudly Jewish in Moon Knight? And he was Jewish.
Yeah,
But was
because
that
like the
like a-
actor who plays him is Jewish, right?
Yeah. I don't even
Reality.
think was that even I don't even remember that being a big part of the show. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen it, but
Yeah.
When you
Whatever.
read the first comics and the definitive run of the character, Doug mentions Moon Knight.
That's the problem with Moon Knight. There's no definitive run of that character.
no, he has the omnibus. You don't understand. He has the Moon Knight omnibus that has the most direct canon story of Moon Knight, the character with 3 fucking personalities.
Yeah, like Moon Knight's like the thing with Moon Knight is that like stylistically, like if you look at his character design, it's awesome. But like
Yeah.
the writers didn't know what the fuck to do with him. They teamed him up with like whoever they could in order to like get him out there. Cause like I think the baseline concept they had, like, hey, what if we like kind of did like our version of like Batman? Like that was like that was it.
Yeah. I
Nice.
wonder, I do love the Moon Knight memes where they just replace his panels with him saying the most insane shit.
Yeah. No, like in terms of like like more recent years, they have developed a more concrete version of the character, but that still doesn't excuse the fact that like no one knew what the fuck to do with him for decades.
Yeah.
None of this is true. All of this garbage came when Doug Mensch stopped writing the character and some random dude called Alan Zalentz comes in and makes the character Jewish. Now say what you want about religions and politics, but I don't think that you should just be able to step in after the main writer of a character is done and just start changing things.
That happens literally
Oh my god,
all the
all the time. Like,
Happens
look,
all the
dude,
time.
dude. Okay, let me as a Hulk fan, let me tell you. Okay, we had the most celebrated run
Wait.
of Hulk of all time in the Immortal Hulk. That run was so good, it outsold Batman. Do you know
Hold
how
on.
hard you have to do in order
This-
to out? Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. This guy's a fucking hypocrite. He just said you shouldn't be able to replace the original writer of a character and totally change the shit. Did he not just praise The Man Without Fear by Frank Miller, who was not the original creator of Daredevil, totally changing Daredevil's shit to make him a more serious character? Did he
Yeah.
not just praise that?
He did.
This guy's like a total
but it's
fucking
grounded
hypocrite.
and realistic.
He is like, oh my god, this guy doesn't want to debate me. There's no way he would.
Yeah. But back to what I was saying. The Immortal
Yeah,
Hulk
sorry.
run is the other than like Planet Hulk and like World War Hulk is like the most celebrated run of Hulk. Do you know what they followed that up with?
What?
Smastronaut, where it's like it's a weird adaptation thing where it's just like Bruce is in control of the Hulk, but like how he controls the Hulk is like a command bridge from Star Trek.
Yeah.
It is a very weird comic book run. Not saying it's bad, but like I think we can all
Thing is-
agree that's a weird fucking follow.
It's a weird thing to complain about because like Superman has been around since the 30s.
Mm-hmm.
You really like what is the expectation that the same writer is gonna have the final say in everything even after they fucking die? You know Stan
Yeah.
Lee is dead, right? You know that Stan Lee has no say in what they do with Spider-Man, which even before he died, they've been fucking with Spider-Man for decades. A la
God.
Brand New Day, you know.
Yeah. Let's we got like 2
We
minutes
got
left.
2
in the
minutes
video.
left. Yeah.
Same with him being a psychopath. In the original comics, Moon Knight isn't some sick freak going around cutting people up. He'd never do that. If
Wait, what are you talking about? He is.
Also, why does that matter?
is.
Why does that matter? You know, in the original comics for Daredevil, he wasn't a dark, brooding, Batman type character, but now he is. Okay,
His love
who
interest
cares?
in the original run of Daredevil, his love interest wasn't a crack whore.
Yeah, hot cracker though.
but you get what I mean.
No, yeah, I totally get what you mean.
But like
No,
no,
but
they're like they're
Again, the more he harps on this, the more I'm gonna harp on his Frank Miller shit because he was praising Frank Miller. And now he's saying, oh, you shouldn't. You know why you don't want someone to come in and change the original character? Is because you don't like what they did. That's the reason why. It's because I'm not even. I was about to call him anti Semitic, but he hasn't given me enough information to assume that.
just
So,
weird arguments.
it's weird. It's like, why does it matter that he's Jewish now? Okay, he's cool. He's Jewish. So.
Yeah.
If any of this happened with any other character, it would be totally stupid and the fans would have to call it out. Imagine if when Stan Lee stopped...
Frank Miller. What are you talking about, dog?
Yeah.
You're retarded.
Alan Moore, because I'm pretty
Alan
sure
Moore.
Alan Moore's like rewritten characters before.
Like, again, The Man Without Fear, which I agree is one of the greatest comics of all time. It is what and the MCU's Daredevil is based on, which that Daredevil show is what I would consider one of the greatest superhero shows of all time. You know, but like that's not what the original Daredevil was. Are you gonna complain because in the first episode of the Daredevil show he wasn't yellow and red? Like, come on, dude.
Yeah. This isn't the real adaptation I wanted.
So dumb. This guy
stopped
is
writing
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Some random dude came in and made Spider-Man a psychopath. It would be nonsense. It would get...
That's happened before.
that literally happened.
That's happened before.
You know, Spider-Man swapped bodies with Doc Ock, and it was at the time it was controversial, but in hindsight, a lot of people love that run.
Mm.
You know,
But yeah,
sometimes changes happen that people don't like at the time, but it grows on people.
I could be misremembering. I don't think Doc I don't think Ock Spider-Man ever directly kills anyone, but he maims a lot of people.
He fucking he punched the jaw off of Scorpion, and he's like, "Oh shit, Spider-Man could have killed me at any fucking time he wanted to, and
Yeah.
he just did it." And he was like shook, and I mean, I would be too. I'd be like, "Oh fuck, this
Yeah.
guy's strong."
Laughed out of the room. No, the character was already well established. You can't just come in and make them a psychopath or change their religion or change their race. It doesn't make sense.
You know what I'm hoping they do now? I hope they establish in like in Absolute Batman that the new Batman's Jewish. Just as this.
Yeah.
Oh
God, that would be so good.
And if you're a comic book fan, start calling it out. You have to realize that just because something happened in one comic doesn't mean it's true to the comics. Like if I'm
Wait. Isn't his
What?
argument that they don't take
How?
enough from the comics?
Like, I don't understand. Like, the fact of the matter is, the Batman is not based on one comic. It's primarily inspired by The Long Halloween, but it's not purely based on that. It grabs inspiration from a lot of different comics. Like, the fact of the matter is, any adaptation, especially, I really don't understand this for some comic book fans, because comic book fans of all people should be open to the idea of alternate versions of the character, considering there's literally alt universe storylines. There's the Elseworld series, there's the What If series. They've got all sorts of alt universe shit going on in the comics all the time. So why is it so bad if an adaptation is not a perfect one-to-one? Like, look, if Batman was dressed like a fucking bunny rabbit and hopping all over the place handing Easter eggs to a man in a clown mask called the Joker, I would totally understand your problem with that. I was like, okay, that's outrageous. That is not Batman. I understand. But like, he is hanging on by threads to say this isn't a perfect portrayal of Batman. Oh, he looks emo. Okay, so
He listens to
Catwoman's
Nirvana.
black now. Oh, he listens to Nirvana. First of all, there's literally one Nirvana song in the entirety of the movie, and I don't even know, is Nirvana even diegetic in that movie? I think it's literally just in the soundtrack. Is there a part?
It's
I'd have to rewatch it.
literally just like for the soundtrack.
Yeah, like I mean, he probably does listen to Nirvana. Guess what? I'm gonna look it up right now while we're
He
recording.
probably listened
How
to
many
my
monthly
he probably listened to
listeners
My Chemical
listen to Nirvana?
Romance.
How many? He probably does, actually, more than Nirvana. There's 31 million monthly listeners of Nirvana on Spotify. Guess what? A lot of fucking people listen to Nirvana. That literally means nothing, dude.
Yeah.
I'm remembering correctly, Alfred once in a comic headbutted Superman. That sounds incredibly stupid, doesn't it? So just because
Wait, hang on.
Well, what is the context?
He is taking that incredibly out of context. First off, that's from the Injustice comic book storyline. That's Injustice Year 1. And to explain, you know how in the game they explain that the reason why like characters like Batman are able to fight Superman without like shattering their bones is because of like the kryptonite pills?
Yeah.
Alfred took the prototype of the pill because in that scene prior, Superman is like fully like going into like the whole like dictator thing. He is torturing Batman to find out information, and he breaks I'm pretty sure he breaks Batman's back just by slightly stepping on it. So because we have to remember, guys, Alfred is Bruce's surrogate parent. He sees his adoptive son in trouble. Of course he's gonna like take the experimental pill and headbutt the guy who's like beating him up. That's like an awesome moment in the Injustice comic book storyline, and the fact that he's like diminishing that so much without like explaining the context is pathetic.
And also, Alfred has always, like, not always, sorry. If we want to go from the original Alfred, he's just like a bumbling butler.
He's a fat butler.
Yeah, he's I don't even know if he's British in the very original. But like now he's a super badass, bro. He like shoots he's isn't there like a comic where someone breaks into like the Batcave and Alfred just straight up shoots the motherfucker?
He
And
is the
he's like,
only
"I
member of the
don't- I don't
Bat
have my
family who is
master's rule."
allowed to carry the gun.
Yeah, he's like he literally shoots. He's like, "Yeah, I don't follow that rule, dude."
Yeah,
That's badass.
he's an
That's cool.
MI6 special agent.
Oh my god, how cool would that be if they adapt that specific scene in the next Batman movie? I would clap. I would clap like a fucking
Oh my
seal,
god, like
bro.
Oswald sends like his goons like after Batman, right? And like Oswald
Yeah.
just
They
and like
find their way to the Batcave, and
Alfred finds them. He's just
Alfred
like
just
pow
fucking
pow.
kills him.
Because something happened in one comic doesn't make it canon. YouTube comic videos and short form content like TikTok and YouTube Shorts are gaslighting people to believe that these bizarre one-off stories, that's what the comics are. That's what being comic accurate means. When in reality, not one bit of this is true. Stop getting your information about comics from TikToks and these YouTube videos. They're lying to you. If you want
I would agree that if someone says they're a comic book fan, but the only information they have about comics are from TikToks or YouTube Shorts, I 100% agree. I guarantee you the vast majority of people that love Batman that say they're comic book fans are not under those people. I guarantee that a lot of people that love the Batman, do you know how many video essays there are about the Batman? And
Oh
these
god,
people
there
are
are
like
hundreds.
huge Batman fans, and
Mhm.
they're like, this finally understands the Batman character. Why are their opinions less valid than yours? Because you claim to be you claim to be a comic book fan, even though you literally contradicted yourself by saying, if someone creates a comic, there should not be someone else that comes in and totally changes the character. Ah, but I do love Frank Miller's run of Daredevil. It's a really
Right.
good run.
I'm
Oh,
like,
so it doesn't matter when it's Daredevil? Like,
mhm.
what is... And Daredevil is a much bigger and more important character than Moon Knight, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, like if I'm sorry, if we're gonna like follow what this guy says and like we have to have like a perfect comic book adaptation of Batman, then we need Batman with purple gloves.
Yeah, how come, dude? Oh my god, how amazing would it be if in Brave and the Bold he shows up with the purple gloves and the gun in his holster,
Oh
and
my
he just looks like a fucking doofus, and he's like, Robin, let's go into battle. And this guy's just like, what in the that finally a comic accurate Batman suit.
right. And there's no Alfred either because remember the Alfred wasn't introduced until
Yeah,
like the
Alfred
50s.
didn't. Yeah, he's not even there. And he should be allowed to kill because for one calendar year, Batman didn't have the no killing rule. You
Yeah,
know how
he
crazy it is? I learned this recently because for the longest time people were like, oh, in his early comics for a few years he killed people, and I just believed that because I
Mhm.
haven't gone back to 1939 to read the fucking original comics. I found out recently because I saw this good it's not even, I wouldn't call it a video essay. It was like because for me a video essay's got to be like an hour or something.
Right,
But it was
right.
like it was like a 12-minute video about this guy talking about the no killing rule. You know that rule only existed for like less than a year? Like it not being a rule was only for less than a year.
Well, yeah, also too, we have to remember that like originally when Batman was created, he wasn't meant to be like a straight up superhero. He was meant to be like a pulp noir character.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like it
that
made
too.
sense for him to kind of to have like the
Like
gun and
wasn't
stuff.
I'm pretty sure his first ever villain was like Hugo Strange, and he like let him die in like a lab.
No, yeah, Hugo Strange is the first Batman villain of all time.
Yeah. But he survived because, it's comics.
Right.
information about comic books, just go read the comics yourselves. Go before the year 2000 and you should be good on
2000.
almost every character. So if you enjoy any of this stuff, or you like the Penguin or the Batman, good on you. But for the love of God, please don't call it comic book accurate. And if we're being truly honest, it shouldn't even have the name the Penguin or the Batman, because that's not what they're adapting. And lastly, just a small tip to get the truth and the proper information about comic books. Stop listening to fake comic book fans that are more interested about how many body parts they can mutilate on their own body, and start reading the proper comics from the 70s.
Is that
What is he talking
is
about?
is that
What is he-
referencing like their piercings? Which comic
Go
book
back.
creator is
I
he
need to hear
referencing
what he's
here?
talking about. I need to hear what he's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about.
About comic books. Stop listening to fake comic book fans that are more interested about how many body parts they can mutilate on their own body, and start reading the
Oh, he's
Is he talking about
referencing the
trans people?
transgenders.
I am so over
Yeah.
the insane hyper fixation on trans people. Do you know what percent of our population is even trans? It's like
Less than 1%.
It's like less than 1%, dude.
Mhm.
Like these are not the people that are defending and calling. By the way, I will say the Batman is the most comic book accurate Batman we've gotten so far.
Mhm.
I'm not saying it is comic book accurate, but it is as close as we've ever gotten, at least for the darker version of Batman.
Yeah.
But like, who are these people that he's talking about? He's probably not even gonna take my opinion because guess what? I'm race swapped. I am race
Oh
swapped.
my
It's
God, that's
I used to
true.
be white, but the woke agenda made me Hispanic.
Yeah.
Actually,
The proper comics from the 70s and 80s, then make your own opinion. So if you agreed, let me know. And if you disagreed, go complain to your boyfriend.
What? What?
what does that even mean?
What is
Wait,
that? Wait.
so if maybe that's the thing he says at the end of all of his videos, I'll give him that maybe. But like, go complain to your boyfriend. Does that mean like? Does he assume that most of the people that watch him are guys, so he's just calling you gay?
Yeah. Or
What?
is he
I don't-
expecting women
What does
to
that
watch
even
him?
mean? What does that mean? So if I'm a
No.
woman and he like, oh, if I'm a woman and I didn't agree, go complain to your boyfriend. Also, don't you want your shit to get boosted in the algorithm?
Mm-hmm.
Tell the people that hate you to leave a comment too.
Yeah. Oh, like that was worse than what I thought it would be. Jesus Christ.
He didn't even talk about the show. I guess all my predictions were wrong because he didn't even fucking see it. He didn't even complain about the trans people in it. What?
Yeah, dude, he didn't watch the show at all, but he's complaining about it, saying it's too woke. What?
I don't believe this guy's real.
Dude. Oh, oh my God. He made a video on Absolute Batman. Oh no, I'm gonna have to watch.
Spider-Man
that
Noir
later.
looks awful. How one comic created a woke $1 million franchise. What is he talking about? The
Oh
end
my
of
God.
Alan Moore. The He's got the hammer and sickle on his forehead. This guy is something else. I tell
He
you.
is. So Mike, would you say that he changed your mind at all?
I would say that after hearing his compelling and insightful arguments,
Mhm.
I also agree the Penguin has gone woke. It's gone woke.
Too woke. It's too woke.
Tell. Wow, that was way worse than I thought it would be. God,
It was.
this guy's got to be a grifter. How many views did that video even get? 5.5K views.
Yeah, 5.5.
That's more than what he deserved.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, go check out Mike the Bike. Mike, tell the people where they can find you at.
You guys can find me on well, you guys will have to be looking up Mike's Biker Radio because I'm moving channels soon. But I'm sure this video will be out before then, so you can find me on Mike the Bike on YouTube, youtube.com/Mike the Bike. But also subscribe to youtube.com/Mike's Biker Radio because that is where I will be moving to soon. I'm obviously not gonna get into the whole situation, but I mean, if you follow both of us, you probably already know.
Yeah.
I
And
do
if you-
parodies. I do original music as well, though not as frequently. And I stream. That's what I do a lot of the time. I actually stream very frequently. I'm a better streamer than Nerdy John. I'm better
What?
than him in every way. I'm
What?
taking over the channel. This is my
What?
channel now.
You bitch.
But thank you for having me on, Nerdy
You
John.
woke bitch. The Hispanic man taking my goddamn job.
They're taking our gerbs.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, if you're somehow new to the channel, subscribe for videos such as this. We do morning shows every Thursday and Sunday, 9 a.m. EST. I am Nerdy John, signing out. Take care.